Hey friends, this is Renee from Little Village Homestead, and today I'm going to show you how I make my chicken vegetable soup. Be right back. Okay friends, I'm back and I am going to make chicken vegetable soup. So I am doing my own little bit of broth for this. So I'm boiling a whole chicken in this pan. Absolutely wonderful. Love it. It's been boiling for a little bit, but I'll boil that baby until it just falls apart. And over here, let me fix my camera. You'll see in this pan, looks like a big mess of vegetables, and it is. Okay, let me get a spoon. Much easier with a spoon. I've got mixed vegetables, frozen mixed vegetables on the top. Okay, and I just set those on top of it. But I've got cabbage and rutabaga and onions and garlic and mushrooms that I sauteed together, and those are in the bottom of the pan. I don't know if you probably can't see them very well, but you know, there's mushroom, onion, rutabaga, and cabbage, and it's all been sauteed in just a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of seasoning. And then when I was done sauteing that, wilting the cabbage down, I just took some frozen mixed vegetables and put on the top, and some cauliflower and broccoli. And that pretty much is my chicken vegetable soup. I don't use potatoes or anything because I like the rutabaga in there. You know, it acts like potatoes in soup. It's wonderful stuff, and it's much healthier than potatoes. So that is what I'm going to do, and I will be back and show you how I put this all together as soon as my chicken gets done in this pot. And then I'll be back. Okay friends, I'm back, and I took my chicken out of the soup pot and I started to take the skin and, you know, debone it, and then I realized, you know what, I need to strain my soup, and I'm actually making this into a video, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to strain this in here because I'm going to use a lot of this for the soup. So, I'm going to strain that. Get all that schmutz out of there. Okay, now I can pour this right back in the pan, if you can see. There. Okay. And pour that right back in the pan. A wonderful broth. And there's no foam or nothing in there. And you know, there's some fat in there, of course. You can see it floating on the top in the bubbles. But that's alright. I'm not so worried about the fat. I just don't want that froth floating around on the top of it. So anyway, that's what I do with that. And I'm just going to take the skin and the bones all, you know, off the chicken, debone the chicken, and I'm going to put that in there, and then when I get that point, I'll be back. Okay, I got quite a bit of this chicken deboned. I'm just working on the breast right here, the breast meat, and I just rip it up. I don't cut it or nothing. I just pull the bone off in it and tear it up. It's still quite hot. It smells wonderful. And then I'm going to add my vegetables to it. A little of my chicken soup base. I'll give it a little extra flavor. Let me get this. There we go. There we go. There's that beautiful hunk of breast. Get that little piece of gristle out of there. Okay, see, I just pull it apart. And just chunks, because it will fall apart The more it cooks, there's a piece of gristle. And this way you can, I like doing it this way because then I can feel if there's any gristle or any skin or anything in there that I don't want in there. So it's a little warm on the fingers, but it works pretty good. You can always wait till it cools down real cool. But I don't. I just tear it up real quick and there, I'm done with that. So let me wash my hands and I'll be right back. Okay friends, I'm back, and as what I do is I take a nice big old heaping spoonful of my chicken base and I put it in there. And between that and my chicken and all my goodies, it'll flavor it wonderfully. Let me turn my burner back up. And I'm going to slowly add my vegetables that I have in this pan. Vegetables I have in that pan. So, you'll see both of them. I'm going to use my big spoon here. I'm just going to start putting them in there. Now remember I told you my cabbage and my rutabaga and my cabbage, rutabaga, onion, and garlic and mushrooms have all been sauteed. But I might not use all these vegetables, and if I don't, I'm going to freeze them for my next batch. They'll freeze very well. That's looking nice. Looking good, looking good. Okay, let me get this all set up and get my veggies in here. I've got all kinds of veggies in there. I have got rutabaga, cabbage, broccoli, mushrooms, onions, garlic, cauliflower, green beans, or actually a blend of mixed vegetables too in here. And when I make vegetable soup, I put everything but the kitchen sink in it. I love it. And I make it different every single time I do it. It just depends on what I'm hungry for. What goes in my chicken and vegetable soup. So, there we go. I'm going to put a little extra water into that. And I'm going to let that go for a little bit. And then, of course, I got a nice chunk of vegetables left over here. A nice bunch of veggies left over. And I can put those in the freezer for another batch. And they'll already be sauteed and ready to go. So, as soon as I get this all set up and it gets a simmering, I'll be back and I'll show you. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to add more water to this. That should be good right there. Get this mixing. So I got a lot of goodies in here. That really looks wonderful. I don't put a whole lot of seasoning in here, just some salt and pepper and some parsley and some of my onion tops, because believe it or not, that soup base that I put in here and all these vegetables combined have just the most wonderful flavor. And sometimes I might put thyme in there, a little extra thyme or a little extra garlic and onion powder. That's a little parsley. And then these are my dehydrated onion tops, and oh my gosh, do they smell wonderful. So I'm going to put a little handful of those in there. Give me some cracked pepper. Cracked pepper. That'd be good. Now I wait until this gets dissolved, my soup base, because that really is salty. That'll, you know, give me an idea how much more salt I need, if any. So, let me get that mixed up, and we're just going to let this simmer for a little bit till it gets nice and hot. And then we'll come back and I'll taste it and see what all it needs, if anything. There's some really, I got some nice big chunks of chicken in there. Oh boy, that's going to be so good. Okay. I'm going to put the lid on this, and then I'm going to let it simmer for a little bit until it gets all nice and heated all the way through, and then we'll be back and taste it, and then I can let it simmer some more. Hey friends, I am back. We're going to give this a good mix, and then we're going to give it a good taste and make sure everything is dissolved in there, and that I'm just going to taste the broth here. I want to make sure, I wanted to stir it real good to make sure that the soup base was all dissolved. Let's let it cool. It's screaming hot. Let it cool real good. I got to blow on it a little bit. This way we'll see if we need anything more in it. And we need nothing in there. That is fantastic. That is seasoned perfect. Even the salt seasoned beautifully. Okay, so there you have it. You can make vegetable soup out of pretty much anything. I got everything you can imagine in here. So I'm just going to turn that way down on low, and I'm just going to let that simmer for about 20 minutes or so, because everything in there was already sauteed. The vegetables are just the frozen ones, but the others already had them sauteed and cooked down. So anyway, we'll let that cook, and I'll show you when I serve it up. Thanks for watching.